sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipakipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ng cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong buhok, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin sa patubo, ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa iyo.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong buhok, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Isang alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman. Hangad palagi ng ating paaralan ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara. Tayong lahat sabay-sabay,
pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, pahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong buhok, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Hi.
Hi. Patience. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Where's Tommy?
I thought he was with you.
No.
Jack.
Tommy?
Go get him.
Great job.
Encouragement. Pass it on.
Dear Mrs. Crandall, it's easy to get so busy we can forget.
Us how much they care with quiet
At the seashore, you can learn about the tides. Through the treasures the sea throws on the beach. You will see a world of constant change.
I'm really proud of you. Mama, by taking the time to help my daughter read, you've become her hero and mine.
Make a difference. Pass it on. A message from the Foundation for a Better Life.
Here are two seeds, both planted on the same day, in the same soil, in the same garden bed. One is very curious, full of life, and ready to grow as tall as it can. The other is filled with fear. What if the sun is too strong and burns my leaves once I grow, it thinks. Or what if a beast eats my tender sprouts? No way, not a chance I am leaving my shell. So it remains still and stagnant, rigid in its place. The brave seed feels the heat of the sun above and starts to push hard out of its shell. Sure, it has doubts about reaching the outside world, but its curiosity is stronger than anything. I want to see all the living creatures of this garden, it thinks. I can't wait to feel the morning dewdrops on my leaves. The little seed keeps pushing until a single sprout comes out. It grows and grows through sunny, warm days. It even grows through colder, stormy days, because the brave seed knows that the sun will always return. Throughout life, you will have moments when you feel like either one of these seeds. The way we see the world around us and how we behave towards life is called our mindset. You can choose to have a fixed mindset or to have a growth mindset. When you have a fixed mindset, things can seem too hard. Negative thoughts might cloud your mind and you start to give up easily. I can't do this. You may believe that if you are not good at something, then you never will be. I'm just born this way. The obstacles you face can hold you back, and you begin avoiding challenges. What's the point of trying? Just like the fearful seed. However, you can always choose to have a growth mindset. A growth mindset helps you believe that your goals are within reach with effort and perseverance. Life is a great big adventure. It shows you that failure is a normal part of your journey. The obstacles you encounter will only make you stronger. Challenges and mistakes help me learn. You'll enjoy the challenges you face and become more resilient. I want to become my best self, just like the brave seed. Fear is a natural emotion. We all experience it, and it can make changing your mindset difficult. The important thing is to try. So here are some tips to switch on your growth mindset. Perfection does not exist. Aiming for perfection is like running a race without a finishing line. Trying to achieve it will only exhaust you. When negative thoughts fill your head, you can turn them around by simply adding "yet" at the end. See challenges as adventures. They will make you more resilient and can open new worlds. If you work hard, you will see progress. And don't worry about mistakes. They are a part of life, and we can learn from them. The good news is, the sun always comes out after a storm. By having a growth mindset, you might even find that a little rain won't bother you much at all.
sabay na babangon, sama-samang ahon, ihanda ang sarili sa hamon. Ipapipigil sa pagsulong sa kinabukasan na katuon, para sa di kalidad na edukasyon.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, kahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Kristiyano at katutubo, isang hanggarin sa patubo, ipagpatuloy pag-aaral mo, tagumpay ay naghihintay sa iyo.
Balik eskwela na naman, sa puso ang kahandaan, handang isip, handa bukas, sa pagkakaisa ay may lakas.
Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, mahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Isang alang-alang natin ang ating kaligtasan, sa bawat oras at panahon, magpakailanman, hangat palagi ng ating paaralan, ang matuto, gayon din maging ligtas ang kabataan. Tayo ay magkaisa, halina't sama-sama, kasali lahat, kasama lahat, para sa lahat. Pilipinas, maghanda ka na, balik eskwela na, tara, tayong lahat sabay-sabay,
pagkakaisa ay may lakas. Ito na ang new normal, online learning at modular. Di na kailangang mag-face-to-face, gamit ang cellphone at radio base. Yakapin na ang pagbabago, mahirapan, kaya natin to. Lakasan ang iyong loob, sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo. Sa bagong normal, sa bagong mundo.
Good morning, everyone. So we are about to begin our opening program. So please get ready and make yourselves comfortable before we start. Before we start, I would like to remind the participants to prepare your laptops, download the software sent by your teachers, and also prepare your raw data. We are about to begin our opening program. So please get ready and a very good morning to everyone and welcome to the annual research seminar workshop on data analysis and presentation with the theme Empowering Research in a Digital Education. To start, let us all stand for a prayer to be followed by the singing of the national anthem through an audiovisual presentation.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Kayang magiliw, kaya sa sinakanan, alam ng puso, sa dikit mo'y bukay. Lupang hinirang, kuya ka ng magiting, sa manlulupin, di ka pasisigil, sa nagagatutok sa simoy at sa langit mong panggaw, ay hinatang tula, kawit sa pagkayang minamahal. Ang isang lang pagkawat mo'y tagumpay na nag-iindig, ang pituloy na parang niya kailan ang ay di magdidinig. Lumang ang araw ng warhating pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang hindi kaya na kantay mga amin, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
My people humble themselves and pray. If they seek my face and humble themselves and turn from their wicked ways, I will hear from heaven and forgive their sins. I will hear from heaven and heal their land. Lord, heal our
us, O Lord, and heal our land. Forgive our sin and heal our broken land. Lord, we bow our knee and humble ourselves and pray. Lord, we seek your face and humble ourselves and turn from my wicked ways. Father, in your mercy, forgive our sins. Father, in your mercy, come heal our land. Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land. Hear our cry and turn our nation back to you. Lord, heal our land. Hear us, O Lord, and heal our land. Forgive our sin and heal our broken land. Lord, heal our land. Father, heal our land. Hear our cry and turn our nation back to you. Lord, heal our land. Hear us, O Lord, and heal our land. Forgive our sin and heal our broken land. Hear our cry and heal our broken land.
Thank you very much. My respect to our dear Assistant Principal, Mrs. Ruth Castromayor, our academic track head, Dr. Amalia Ringor, our CBD1 research coordinator, Mrs. Hazel Hinay Monte de Ramos, to our group heads, Mr. Elmer Andibor and Mrs. Ruth Villanueva, to our speakers, participants, and guests, good day. Why do we conduct research? According to Google, research is done to inform action, gather evidences for theories, and contribute to develop knowledge in a field study, and to enhance the knowledge of our dear students. Because when you have a proper in-depth analysis of any topic, the results come out to be fruitful. As the quote from George Couros states, learning is creation, not consumption. Knowledge is not something a learner absorbs, but something a learner creates. At this point, let us hear the statement of purpose for this activity to be presented by Mr. Zimac Espana. Sir?
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the annual virtual, this is not virtual actually, but this is seminar workshop on data analysis and presentation. We actually had this event last year in a different format, no? So this is for this year. So this seminar workshop serves as an intervention activity for the subject, inquiry, investigation, and immersion, which is offered every second semester of the school year. But this also will serve as an intervention activity for the subject quantitative research or practical too, since we're not able to talk a lot to talk a lot about statistics. Now, the aim of the activity is to explain thoroughly the topics under data analysis and presentation. It will also train you, students, to apply your knowledge that you will acquire here in the seminar, in the subject, in your research project in the subject, as well as in your future research. And the third one is to encourage you, students, to master the topics in data analysis and presentation and research. Remember, without data or without data analysis, everything, or without data that will talk for us, no one is willing to listen. If it's an opinion, no one is willing to listen. If it is fact, it's a fact, a lot will listen to us. So yeah, and so that's why we have this goal already. We have this goal, we have this theme that you will empower, that we will empower research in the digital education. No, we will fight not, we will not fight only against COVID-19, but we will also fight the challenges in conducting research even in this pandemic. So I believe that's all. These are all the purpose of this activity. Thank you so much.
At this point, let us hear from our CBD1 research coordinator some updates on research. Mrs. Hazel Hinay Monte de Ramos. Ma'am?
Okay, thank you, Mama Ricar. My respect to our assistant school principal in the senior high school, Ma'am Ruth Castro Mayor, our academic track head, Dr. Amalia Ringor, our subject group head for mathematics, Sir Elmer Andibor, subject group head for science, Ma'am Ruth Villanueva, our speakers, participants, STEM teachers, and everyone, good morning. So I am tasked to give updates on the research journey in our district. It is very much encouraged, and an imperative for teachers to conduct researches, may be action research or basic research. Prior to the pandemic, there had been a number of research proposals submitted in our district from the teachers, by the teachers, that utilize various interventions on how to increase the level of performance of our learners. However, with the onset of flexible learning, these proposals were put on hold because of some limitations, such as data gathering, because we cannot meet our students physically. Gladly, though, with the new normal education, there's a new normal education paves way for more research ideas to work on. So as of the moment, there are 10 action research proposals submitted under the new normal setup. 3 completed researches in our district. So these researches utilize strategies and interventions on increasing the level of performance of our learners on the different learning competencies of different subject areas. So the teachers conducted pre-tests and post-tests to determine the effectiveness of their given interventions and strategies. For the 3 completed researches, these researches will be presented hopefully next month during the Division Virtual Research Congress. So while the idea of crafting research is easy and overwhelming, there are many factors to consider as well. But once we identify the need of our participants, of our respondents, of our locale, that is the problem itself, eventually we will learn the direction of our research and utilize its results. So young researchers as you are, it's a good thing that you understand what research is and how it should be done. With this workshop on data analysis and interpretation, you'll go a long way in your research endeavors. And your teachers will also guide you in crafting research, and consequently, you will be able to help your teachers do research too. In our district, we have a research project It's titled REAP. It's Project REAP, which stands for Research Excellence Amidst Pandemic. So let's keep the excellence in our research and especially in our districts and with you, young researchers. So thank you, and may this seminar workshop be fruitful. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, Ma'am Hazel.
Thank you, ma'am.
At this point, allow me to introduce our speakers for this morning. Our first speaker is a graduate of BS Mathematics, major in Applied Statistics at Caraga State University. She is also taking her master's in mathematics education at CSU and graduating this year. She was a teacher of CSU main campus, ACLC Butuan, and Bilay National High School before she transferred to in Agusan National High School Senior High School. She will be discussing about descriptive data analysis. Our first speaker is Mrs. Igene C. Esguerra. Our second speaker finished her BS Mathematics Applied Statistics at Caraga State University. She also finished her master's degree in mathematics education in CSU. She presented a paper entitled Conceptualizing Teachers, Self-Efficacy Development of Quantitative Research Proficiency Assessment Tool in PARSU. She will be presenting the T-Test for Independent Group. Our second speaker is no other than Ms. Ivy Magabilin. Now let's welcome our first speaker, Mrs. Igene C. Esguerra.
Good morning, everyone. Am I clear? Okay, so my topic is about descriptive data statistics. So, let's define first the descriptive statistics. So, according to Bluman, it consists of the collection, organization, summarization, and presentation of data. So, this is just a basic analysis. So, it includes frequency, percentage, mean. It's either a arithmetic or a weighted mean. It depends to the data collected, and standard deviation. Okay, so example, if you have the statement of the problem, what is the demographic profile of the students in terms of gender, parents' educational level, and family income? So this is just a basic statement of the problem. So how are we going to analyze the results? So first, we must have to collect the data. So example, we have this survey slip. So we have here the gender, the father's educational level, the mother's educational level, and family income. So common in this pandemic, we use a Google form in gathering the data. So allow me to show you some examples. Okay. So example, if you have this data, this column in B, the learning modalities. Example, if you have different learning modalities, the online and modular, the gender, here, the father's educational level, the mother's educational level, the family monthly income, and the academic performance of the students. So sample of the summative test or exam. So you can use Excel in analyzing the data. Also, you can use SPSS as your teacher told you to use. So I'll illustrate to you how to put this data into SPSS. So you need to transform this data into a numerical values. Yes. Okay, for a while. Klaro na? Okay na niya? Okay, so let's go back to the presentation of data. So in order to analyze this data, sample of data into SPSS, so you need to transform this raw data into a numerical. Actually, you can use a Excel in analyzing. It's because it's basic analysis, but we'll show the SPSS. So how are you going to transform this data into a numerical one? So you can highlight, example, in the learning modalities, you need to do the coding scheme. So example, you will code online as 1 and modular as 2. So all you need to do is Control H, then find what that is online, write online, then put 1 and replace with, then replace all. Okay, so we made 20 replacements for the online. Then next, write modular, then replace 2. So then select replace all. Then we made another 20 replacements. So our data is actually 20 from the online and 20 from the modular. Okay, so can you try it with your own data? Can you follow? Or let's have another one in gender. So what you're going to do is highlight again, Control H, then write female, then replace 1, then replace all, click replace all. So we made 24 replacements. Then write again male, then replace it with 2, then replace all. Okay, so can you do that? Can you follow? So if you've done with all with this data, then we have this final data. Okay, you have 5 minutes to do it with your own data.
Send it to your advisor, see if you're able to do it. Send it to your advisors if you're able to do it. Tapos, ang
Okay? Are you done? So now, open your SPSS. Okay, let's try another new data form. Then, go back to your Excel, highlight all the data, then Control C to copy your data into SPSS. So take note that your SPSS must be in data view, this one. Then click here in one, then Control V to paste your data. Okay, can you do it? Okay, next, go to variable view, then rename each variable. So let's go back to our data in Excel. What are those variables? So first, the learning modalities. Take note, learning modalities, gender, father's educational level, mother educational level, family, monthly income, and scores. So let's go back to our SPSS. So let's have the learning modalities, then gender, then father's edu level, mother's edu level, then family monthly income, and the score. So you may complete the label here. So you can write learning modalities, gender, the father's educational level, and so on. Okay. Then next, let's value each numerical. So what we have assigned in the Excel, so we will write it here. Number 1 in the learning modalities, we assigned it from the online. Then add. Next, 2 for the modular. Okay, can you follow? Then, okay. Okay, can you do it with your own data? Let's continue with the gender. 1 for female and 2 for male. Then add and okay. Okay. For the father's educational level, so we have here the elementary level, the elementary graduate, high school level, high school graduate, college level, college graduate, and postgraduate. So we will input it here. So valuing, we have 1 for elementary level, then 2 for elementary graduate, 3 for high school level, 4 for high school graduate, 5 college level, 6 college graduate, and last one we have the postgraduate. Okay, then press OK. So since the father's educational level and the mother's educational level, magkatulad lang sila ng labeling, so you can copy, right click, or just press Control C, then click here, then Control V. So the same lang man sila ng labeling. Okay, now for the family monthly income, the same yung gagawin ninyo. So what I will illustrate here is just the gender and the father's educational level. So just to make it short. But the same yung process na gagawin ninyo lahat dito, except for the scores, because the score is a continuous data. So we can change scores as scale. So here, learning modalities as nominal kind of data, the gender also, the father's educational level, you can change there, okay? So how are we going to analyze the statement of the problem number 1? Can you follow, everyone? So let's go to analyze, descriptive statistics, then frequencies. If we want to look at the demographic profile of the students according to gender and father's educational level, okay? So frequency. Okay, so we have this result. So take note, you must check if there are no missing values. So we'll check 40 students from the gender and the father's educational level na variable. So we have here now the result for the gender. So in presenting your output, you cannot just simply copy this table then put it in your presentation. So what you're going to do is copy this output, then put it in the Excel. Then paste. Okay, can you follow? Okay. Then next, it is for you to decide if you will use table for your presentation or you will use a chart. You can use a bar graph or another form or another chart that you want to use. So if you want to use table, just simply show the this frequency and the percent. So you may copy this one, then put gender. Okay, then I'll show you later how to present a table in a format that we are using now. Okay, so but in my presentation in this gender, I use a bar graph. So I'll show you the presentation. So just highlight these two, the gender and the person, then insert this, then you have this graph. If you want to put the percentage, just simply right click, then add data labels. Again, right click, then add data labels. Okay? Can you follow? Can you do that in your own data? Okay. So I guess you're done with the first presentation or the first graph. So what if, or how about the result for the father's educational level? So the same, what you're going to do is right click, copy, then paste it to the Excel. Okay. So in my presentation, I use table. Since if I use bar graph, I think it would be a complicated one. So I can delete this and this one, then I write father's, sorry, educational level. Okay. So we'll go back to my PPT to show you the output, the final output. Okay. So this is the final output. We have here the figure 3, as I name it figure 3, the participant's profile in terms of gender. So this is the output if you want only the general. So not knowing if it is from online or from the modular. General from the whole respondents. So we can say that majority or 60% of the students are female and 40% are male. So while in the father's educational level, so I present it in this way. So the table entitled Participants Father's Education Level Profile. So we have the frequency and the percent. So we can say that majority of the students or the majority of the parents of the students had graduated college. So that one. So you can start with the majority, then followed with 2.5% were elementary level, 2.5% had attained elementary graduate, and so on. So you can do that with your presentation. So how about if you want to show the two different learning modalities? So how many of the students, okay, sorry, okay, so let's slow down. So what if we want to show the frequency and the percentage of the students from the online and modular learning modalities? So let's go back with the SPSS data. Okay, so can you follow? Okay, so let's have again, analyze, Then descriptive statistics. Then go to cross tabs. Okay? Naka-follow ba ang tanan? Then you can use, or sorry, the term is you can put learning modalities into rows, then gender into columns, or vice versa. Whether you want the gender in the rows or the learning modalities in columns. So in my presentation, I use, sorry, ito sinipagawas ha. So the gender in rows and the learning modalities in columns. Then you can check what are those in this exact statistics. But take note that what you are going to do is just simply the frequency. So you can go, okay. It's okay. Then we have this result. Okay, so we have here the female, the male, the learning modalities online, and the modular. So it is very clear from the results. So what you're going to do from here is the same with what you've done last time. You will copy this result to the exam. Okay. So here, let's paste the result. Okay. So we need the percentage for each learning modality because it's easy to interpret or present the result in percentage than in frequency. So let's delete this one, then put gender here, then the total. Okay, then let's insert one column here for the percent for modular. Okay, click, then right click. Okay, again, right click here, then insert. Then put percent. And let's unmerge this one. Then this two, let's merge these two and put online. And change this online into frequency. Okay, can you follow? The same thing what you do to the modular. So right click, then insert, then put percent and frequency, then highlight these two, merge, and put modular. Okay, can you follow? Can you do that in your data? The same thing what you do to the total. So no need to insert, it's because nothing is in the right side. So what you do is to just unmerge this one, this total, then merge the total, then let's have here the frequency and the percent. Okay. Okay. So, in computing the percent, so can you follow me, guys? Please comment. If not, okay. In computing the percent, let's have press equals. Press the left side, this 11 in a female, then over this bar, okay, and write 40. This 40 is from the total participants or total respondents. Then enter. So to show the percent, just press this percent here. Okay, so you have here the percentage. If you want it in 2 decimal places, so you can click this. Okay, can you follow? You can click this one. So for you to show the decimal places. But if you want it in a whole number, so you can press the other one, this right side. So what I did is I showed the 2 decimal places. So the same thing, what I did.
Okay, sorry for the technical problem. So, murag naghinay ang ilang internet. Okay, sorry for the technical problem. So, murag naghinay. Ano naman to?
Can you hear me now? Okay. So let's have again the presentation. Sorry for the interruption. Okay, so let's go back with the analysis. Is it clear? The presentation is clear? Okay na. Clara na? Okay na? Okay, so let's go back with the analysis for the father's educational level. So let's have again the analyze para sa hindi nakahabol ha or saan ba ako naputol. Percent sa father's educational level. Excel na. Okay. So sa Excel na pala. Wala naman sa Excel. Saan ba tayo naputol? Okay, balikan na lang natin itong father's educational level na analysis. So, balik tayo sa tapos descriptive statistics. Tapos crosstab. So again, as I said kanina, dahil gendered itong nasa loob kanina, ito yung gender. So ilabas muna natin siya. Tapos ipasok natin si father's educational level. Okay. Okay? Nakita niyo ba to? So ito na yung result ng percentage of frequency ng father's educational level in terms of their learning modalities. Okay, so what we
Okay, so let's have our attendance checking. So can you please write on the chat box pag naa mo? Where's the students from Lavache? Naa? Are you around? How about from Lagrange? Do we have students from Lagrange? Hawking. What section are you, Ira? Okay. We have Bruno from Lagrange. Relampagos Sakar from Hawking. How about for Maxwell? Do you have representatives from Maxwell? How about my advisory, Mendeleev? Okay, we have Cinco, Trujillo from Hawking, Ingalan from Maxwell, and Euclid. Do we have from Euclid? Okay, we have Chua, Vivero. Okay, from Euclid, we have Charlene Carbona.
Susunod ba yung
Okay, Ma'am Aijin is back.
Kuna kasi nila kung mga test as na yung medical requirement. Kung okay na, lasa lang na. Yun na. Nasa na, nakita mo yung process. Mag-stop nito.
So, am I clear now? Sorry for the internet interruption. Okay, so sa hindi pa nakahabol kanina, so the same, what we do, right click here, then insert, then put present. Take note, unmerge the upper one, then merge again, then put the learning modality online, then here the frequency, tapos here, again insert another column, then present again, then frequency. And highlight these two, merge, then put modular. The same what you're going to do with the total, and merge, then highlight these two, then merge, and put frequency, then percentage. So the same thing with what you've done with the previous table kanina. So, parehong-pareho lang talaga, walang pinagkaiba. Okay? So, equals, click the left side, the left top, then press this one, this in your keyboard, then the total, write the total 40, then equals, then drag down, then percent. So again, as I said, if you want a 2 decimal places, then click this one. Another, let's have equals, then click the left, over the total, then enter. Then drag, click percent, then so on, so on. So I guess, nakakuha naman siguro lahat with the given 2 examples. So, let's go back to my presentation. So, I present those two, the gender in terms of their learning modalities, like this one. Okay, so again, majority of our students are female, 32.50 or 32.5 from the modular, and 27.5 from the online. While 40% are male, then 17.50% from the modular, and 22.5 from the online. So just like that. If you want it with different learning modalities or what variables you have. So while in the father's educational level, I present the table in this way. Okay? Can you follow? So I hope that your results are ready because your teacher will collect your results later. Okay, so let's go on with another statement of the problem. So let's have this. What is the academic performance of the online and modular students in pre-calculus when compared in terms of gender, parents' educational level, and family income? So here, I'll just show you the results for the gender and parents' educational level. So this is based only with the 40 students. Okay, let's go back with the, sorry. For a while, ha? Z. Okay, so let's go back with our data kanina with this. So let's go back with the data view. Now, what we need is the mean for each learning modalities. So we cannot compute the mean for each learning modalities with respect to gender with this data. So what we're going to do is we'll copy the data from the online in a separate form. So let's open another data. Then let's paste it here. So take note, these are just the data from the online only. Online only, online. So if you want to label it, you can do that. But if you are familiar with what are those variables in variable 1, variable 2, so pwede na siyang hindi mo nalagyan. Okay? So, let's have the analysis. Take note that what we need is the mean for the gender. Okay? Mean of scores of each gender for the online. So, how are we going to do that? Let's please follow, analyze, descriptive, tapos, explore. Sorry. Okay. So take note that the gender is the variable 2. Then the score is the variable 6. Then you can check what are those in this statistics. Okay? Then you can have this. Okay? So take note that our variable 1 in this is the female. And this 2 is the male. Okay? But if you are confused with those variables, you can actually write this one. To make it clear, you can have it 1 as female, especially if you are just starting. So, medyo nakakalito pag hindi mo nilalagyan. Okay, so balik tayo. Actually, there are another way. You can have descriptive statistics, tapos sa descriptive lang tayo, I guess. Pwede lang naman siguro. Kung pwede ba? Hindi pwede. Sorry. So, doon lang talaga tayo. Okay. So, let's have explore, then ibalik natin si variable 2 para makita niya yung valuing. Tapos, ito na. Okay? So, take note that the mean for the female is 30.9091. Then, for male, we have 31.8889. Okay? Can you do that with your own data? Take note that this kind of mean is just arithmetic mean. What we get is the scores, the mean of their scores with the pre-calculus test. Okay? So, next, I'll show to you the modular. So, what you're going to do, again, is you'll copy the data with the modular. Okay, highlight, then copy, open new data, and take note, the data view, dun ka magpipaste ng kinapi mo, then here. Then, again, you can do the valuing. That's 1 for female. So again, as I said kanina, pwedeng hindi mo lagyan ng value if you are really familiar, if hindi ka na nako-confuse. Pero if you are confused with the values, then better if you do the valuing of values. Then again, analyze, descriptive, then explore, then factor. The factor list is the independent, the gender. Then this one, the variable into dependent. Then okay. This is just one way in computing the mean here in species. So there is another way. Okay, so as you can see, the mean score of female in the modular learning modality is 17.69, while the female is 21.14. So what's another way or another analysis? So let's go back with the online. Okay, the online. Okay, you can do as simply as this, analyze. This is just the same analysis, but another way. Instead of doing the descriptive, you can have compare means. Then the independent variable is the gender. Then the score as dependent. then you will have this result for a while. Where's the result? Okay. Okay, here. So, better if you use that analysis because short and brief and concise. Okay. So you have here the mean and you have here the standard deviation. Okay. So the same thing you will do with the modular. Ay, Lord. Naman. Ang presentation wala. Sorry.
Share button.
Share screen. Asa nag-end? Result. How about this? This one?
Presentation. Last mo gusto mo.
How many? Clara na? Okay. So, let's go back with the modular. So, the same thing. You will have the analyze, then compare means, then the independent variable is the gender, the variable 2, then the scores, then, okay. So, medyo marami na siyang output, kaya naglo-loading. Okay, here it goes. So, these are the results for the modular. So, mas madali kaysa kanina. So, after that one, you will do it in table form. So, please allow me to go back in my presentation. So, I do it this way. Okay. So, you have here the modular with the mean and the online with the mean and standard deviation. So, I include the standard deviation since it is the measures of dispersion. So, as you have seen that the results in modular are larger, has a large standard deviation than the online. So take note that the scores of the modular students are not consistent or more variable than the online. So, and note that the online students performed better than the modular. Okay, their scores differed 10 points. Their mean scores, rather. Okay, do you have any clarifications for that? Can you do it now with your own data? Okay, can we proceed? If you have clarifications, please message or comment in the comment section. Okay. Sige. Okay, let's have the last one. Example, statement of the problem. So, what is the extent of manifestation of the student's emotional intelligence factors? So, example of the intelligence factors, the self-regulation and self-motivation. So, what I use in this scaling is Likert scaling. So, I guess you're familiar with this. This was introduced by your teacher. I guess so. So this is an example of the instrument. So a Likert scaling with 5-point scale. Okay, so I hope you can follow. This is for the self-regulation and the self-motivation, the same scaling. So what we will do with the analysis is weighted mean. It's because it has a weight in each point, no? So, but the analysis that you're going to do is the same. You can do this in Excel or SPSS again. Okay, so I used this point scaling for the interpretation. So, naapa ba ko? Napadiay. Okay, so allow me to present my data. My stops for a while, ha? Kasi nawala ang akong result. Okay, allow me to share to you the results of the given instrument. So this is just an example of the result, a 40 respondents results. So this is for the self-motivation. So the self-motivation have 15 items. And the self-regulation has 17 items. So that is why we have a lot of data here. So you can use actually the average, because what you need is only the average for your analysis. So if we numbered it here from 1 to 17, so that we can show the self-regulation. There are 7 items for the self-regulation. Okay. Okay, so you can get the average, just simply the average. If you want the weighted mean, if your data is a Likert scaling, better if you use your analysis in the Excel. So just simply press equals, then average, then open parentheses, and you can use shortcut if you know it already. Then drag to the last. Okay. Then you have the mean for each item. Okay. Then for the overall weighted mean, you can insert here another column. Then right equals, then average, then highlight this average, and okay, then press enter. So this would be the overall weighted mean for the self-regulation. So take note, this is the weighted mean in each item. Okay? item number 1, item number 2, and so on with item number 17 for the self-regulation. Now, for the self-motivation, the same thing what you're going to do. I'll put a color for this para hindi tayo nalilito. May barrier tayo. So, we have here equals the same thing, average, then open parentheses, click the upper data, then drag it to the last data, then enter. Then drag it to the last item. Okay, done. Then get the overall weighted mean. We have equals average. Then click this one, drag. Okay, then enter. Okay, can you do that in your own data if you use Likert scaling? Okay. Now, in presenting your table, of course, you will do this in, what we call that, vertical, right? So what you're going to do is, take note it is a self-regulation, so you'll just simply highlight these results until the overall weighted mean, then copy. Okay, I'll make another sheet for the results. Then, please follow, right-click, paste special, values, transpose. Okay. Okay, so, para magiging vertical yung result natin from horizontal. And then you will put mean. Then here, the indicators. What are those indicators? Yung, again, ito yung nasa questionnaire natin kanina. Okay, this indicator. So, ilalagay natin to pag magpe-present tayo ng results, of course. So, this is the indicator 1, indicator 2, indicator 3, and so on. Okay? Then, sorry. So, can you follow? Then, you write here the indicators. Then, the interpretation or verbal description. Okay. So, the same thing what you will do with the self-motivation. So, sa hindi nakahabol kanina, okay, please follow, highlight. Tapos, copy. Then, right-click, paste special, values, tapos, transpose, then, okay. The same thing what you're going to do, right? The indicators, the mean, and verbal description. So I'll be sharing to you the output, some of my output in this okay. Okay, this is some of the output. So I do it like this. So this is for the overall respondents, not the result that I did, what I've showed you, because only 40 participants lang yon para mas madali. So, ganito. You will have the modular here and the online. So, kung gusto niyo, pwede na din naman hatiin niyo yung sa Excel. Pwede niyong hatiin from modular to anong tawag dito? Modular and online. But the same thing pa din yung gagawin nyo. I-highlight nyo lang, tapos average, ganon. Pareho lang lahat. Okay. I hope so that you followed the instruction. Do you have any clarification? And the sample interpretation. So take note that you need to add a RRL or a supporting related literature for each results. The same with those frequencies, those comparative, comparing means rather, and this weighted mean. Okay, so again, I use this qualitative interpretation. Okay, so that's all for my presentation. I hope nakahelp ako sa pag-analyze ng inyong data. Sana may napulot kayo kahit konti. So, thank you and good morning, everyone.
Okay, thank you, Ma'am Jane. Okay, so let's continue with our second topic, which is the test for independent group, which will be presented by Ma'am Ivy Magabilin. Okay, while waiting for Ma'am Ivy, please write down your questions para kung if you still have questions, especially for Ma'am Jane, she can answer it later. So write down your questions and then place it in our chat box. Okay, so there are no questions in our comment box, in our chat box. So we have here AJ Sumaylo, we have Christine Labador from Rutherford, Sumaylo, okay, Humana, Moreno. We have Amero from Rutherford, Bulastik from Hawking, Miss Mercado from Lavache, Althea Olano from Lavoisier. So we have Kiape from Mendeleev. Lavoisier Egay. We have Lacuerte from Lavoisier. We have Polo from Fleming. Tipay from Euclid. Lavoisier, Burgos, Pasok. So daghan tag Lavoisier. Gamay rag Mendeleev. Agoy atong attendance checking ani. We have Trujillo from Hawking. Vilonta from Rutherford. And Raffles. For Lavoisier, we have Santa Cruz. For Hawking, we have Postanes. Rutherford, Salvani. And Mesa. For Mendeleev, we have Trinidad and Cadelinia. Spina for Lavoisier. Okay, so daghan-daghan da ita, no? Yung start cam. Anak ko. Am I in or out?
Pwede ko mag-proceed. Asa pwede ko mag-proceed. Sure ka? Kami sa sarili
Nakasulod na ko?
Nasa ko magpalit yung ayos.
Sulod na? Good morning, everyone. My respect to our department head, Sir Elmer, and to our best. I think Sir Elmer is the only one here. Ma'am Hazel Minay, our CBD1 research coordinator. Students, people working behind the stage, and everyone who are present here virtually, good morning. So I'm going to present to you, I'm going to discuss key tests for independent groups. Okay, so the key test for independence group have lots of names. So you might encounter some of this in the future. You need not to get confused. So for example, independent t-test, independent measure t-test, independent two-sample t-test, student t-test, two-sample t-test, uncorrelated scores t-test, and unpaired t-test, unrelated t-test. So you need not to worry because all these names are actually the same. Okay. Now, what is the use of t-test? So t-test is used for testing the differences between the means of independent groups, and it is used also for comparison of variables, at least at ordinal level. So for example, if you're going to answer these questions, the right test for this one is actually t-test for independent group. Now, why independent, by the way? It means independent because your two variables are independent. So, for example, do males and females differ in the performance on the standardized entrance exam in CSU? What is the effect of 2OB versus no 2OB on the recovery of mild COVID patient?
Does the color content differ between the Bear Brand and Nido formula milk? So, if you're going to answer that one scientifically, then you're going to use t-test. Now, before you're going to use t-test for independent groups, you must satisfy the following assumptions. So first is the sampling distribution of the differences, mean differences between means is normally distributed. The second is the homogeneity of variance, and there should be no outliers. So, note that the homogeneity of variance can be tested by Levens test. So you need not to worry because Levens test will be given directly in this PSS. So I'm going to show you how you're going to compute or how is it done using the SPSS. Okay, now let's go back to the assumptions. Now what happens if your assumptions are not met? Then you're going to use an alternative test. So it's a non-parametric test. And we call that one Mann-Whitney-U test. Okay. So example number 1. There are recent products of weight loss that surface in the market today, such as slimming tea and slimming coffee. So 10 persons' weight losses has been recorded for each product. Test whether these two products differ significantly. So you're going to compare which of the product, you're going to find out if there is a significant difference between slimming tea and slimming coffee. Now, what are you going to do? So, given here, we have a table which contains the data. Okay, so let's type that one on the Excel. Automatic na na. Okay. So, it's very simple. Example lang here is, let's start with the simplest example. 10 data. So each coffee, each slimming product. Now, how are we going to, let me show you first how to get the t-test on independent groups in Excel. And let's compare that one with the result in SPSS. Okay. So Okay. Are you with me, guys? Are you with me? Wala mo tubag. Okay, I'm with you. Yeah. Okay, how is it done? Okay, you go to the data. You click the data. And there should be a data analysis here, which I can find. So there's no data analysis here. So you have to put an add-ins for that. And it is gonna be here in options. Add-ins. Here, guys. Add-ins. Okay, then we find the analysis toolpath. You click OK. It's not yet added. Okay, again, go to the options, data, add-ins. Here, analysis toolpath. I hope this will work. May bakit wala? Again, guys, I'm trying to find the data add-ins. Okay, go pa there, guys. Then you have to add analysis toolpath here. Okay, click OK. Okay, now if you're going to click the data, you will see here a data analysis. You click that one, it's working, and you find where is the t-test for two sample assuming unequal variances. So I'm going to use this one. Why this one? Okay, why t-test for two sample assuming unequal variances? Because this one will work to both equal and unequal, equal and unequal. While this t-test for two sample assuming equal variances will work only on equal variances. Now, since you don't know if your variances are equal or unequal, so we're going to use this one. Okay, you click that one, you click OK. You click variable range. When you click the variable, then you select the range. Okay. Your variable 2, the slimming coffee, you click that one and you select the range. Since we have a label here, you click the label, then you choose which range are you going to show the result. Okay. You click OK, then voila, we got here our results. Now, we have so many figures, as you can see. Which is the most significant figure? Okay, now let's start with the mean. You know what this means? So the average of each product. We have the variance. So the variance, as you can see, not necessarily equal. So I will explain to you. What do you mean by homogeneity of variance? So the homogeneity of variance it doesn't necessarily mean that your variance should be equal. It only means that your variance must have no significant difference with each other. Okay? Now we have here the t-stat. We have the P1 tail and the T critical one tail. Now, we can ignore this one since we're using two tail. Why the two tail? Diba, if you're going to compare, if you're going to find the difference between your two variables, so if you remember in your statistics, so that's gonna be equal and not equal. So if you're going to have one tail, it should be the other variable is greater than or less than. So that's the point you're going to use the one tail. Okay, so the P critical two tail here, or we call this one, in other words, the famous for P value is 2.1. Okay, now let me show you if we're going to use this PSS, if the result will be the same. Okay, so just need to copy first the slimming T. Copy that one and you put it here in your SPSS. So I'm going to put that in my variable and in the second column. Why? Because my first column should be my coding. Now I will code the slimming T as 1. So why this? Why you need to do this? Because the SPSS will not calculate strings. So you need to recode your data in numeric form. Okay. So I'm going to decode this one. All the slimming T should be my 1. Okay. Let's go back. I will copy the data for the slimming coffee. Okay. Go back to that. Paste. Okay. If you have all the data in the Excel, you need not to worry how to transfer it to the SPSS because it's simply copy and paste. Just make sure that it's in a numeric form. Okay, then I will label that one as 2. Right. Now let's go here in my variable view. Okay, my variable 1 are the slimming products. So I'll name that one slimming P. Okay lang. Slimming products na lang jud. Okay. Then my variable 2 will be my weight loss. Sorry for that. Okay, then we all know that we recode the values for the slimming products. We will know that R1 is our slimming tea. Okay, you add, click add. And R2 is our slimming coffee. You add. Okay, so make sure to check the measurement. Okay, here actually you can put it on a scale because you already changed that one to scale. Scale. Okay, what's next to do? You go to analyze, click on analyze, then you find compare means. Then in compare means, you will find independent sample t-test here. Okay, just click that one. Then what's gonna be your test variable? It's gonna be the, guess what? Weight loss. Okay, then the slimming products is your grouping variable, which you group into two. Two raman yun ni guys, limited to two. Independent groups is limited to two. So if you're going to compare, so by two gid siya. Okay, then we have 1 for slimming tea and 2 for slimming coffee. Okay, continue. Okay, that's our option here. Okay, no need for that one. Our confidence level interval is at 95%, so we're checking variable at 0.05. Standard error. Okay. What we got here? So this is the summary of your result. Okay, let's check now if we have an equal result in the Excel. So our significant is not equal. Oh my God, equal man gabi. Sorry guys. Equal siya. P2 tail, we have here 0.981. So lahi day akong natanaw ganina. Sorry. Okay, we have an equal result actually. As you can see, let's compare na standard deviation is equal. Mean, standard error. Now, this one, as you can see here the Leven's test for equality of variances. Now, what does it say? What does belong here? So we have an F and a sig. Okay. Now, what is this F mean? So this F, I read some articles. I mean, I read few PDF on t-test. So it means that if your F, the value of F is less than 0.05, then you look at the below row, this one. Now, if your F is greater than 0.05, you look at the first line. Okay. Now, our sig here, 0.873. So, this actually shows the Leven's test for equality of variance. So, this means that if your your sig for Leven's test is less than 0.05, it means that there is a significant difference between your variances. However, this one shows that your 0.873, which means that it is higher than 0.7. It is higher than 0.05. So we go on with our test. So it means that it passed the Leven's test for equality of variance. Okay. Okay. Then we look at here. We have the T. Diba? Less than man siya. So we look at the below row. So the second line. Okay. So the DF. Okay, the significant two-tail, this is actually our p-value, the 0.982. Okay, so this is the most important value that we need in our interpretation. Okay, so how are we going to present that one in a very simple way that the reader of your paper will not tangled with all these figures that you can see on the table, on the result table. Okay. So, balik ta sa Excel. So, sorry, I clicked a wrong value. This one, the P2 tail, this is our P value, 0.98188. So, dili kay sharp, pero gi-round off siya in SPSS, so 0.982, same na sila. Okay? So, if you're going to present that one in a table, so your result will be, oh wait, I forgot to state the hypothesis before we analyze the problem. So the hypothesis is there is no significant difference between slimming tea and slimming coffee in losing one's weight. And the alternative is there is a significant difference between slimming tea and slimming coffee in losing one's weight. I guess you're very familiar with this one because you have this one in your statistics and probability, and your teacher in I3 must have also discussed this one with you. Okay? So this is the result. This is actually our format in I3 in presenting your result. Okay? So, wrong ang akong value, no? Okay. So, this one, the t-test result between slimming tea and slimming coffee. So, the p-value is actually 0.982. Okay? Now, what is our decision? Diba, you go back to the null hypothesis. Okay, then the result of your p-value will decide it's if you're going to reject or not to reject your null hypothesis. Now, what does it say? If you have a p-value less than 0.05, that's the point where you're going to reject your null. However, we get a p-value greater than 0.05, so we have to accept otherwise. I mean, we have to stick with our null hypothesis. So, if you're going to interpret that one, it means that there is no significant difference between slimming tea and slimming coffee in losing one's weight. Ba? Or they do not differ significantly, or you can articulate your own way of interpreting the result. Basta it should be based on the null hypothesis and the decision. Okay? Now let's go to our next example. By the way, you have any questions? Questions? Am I too fast? Am I too slow? Am I beautiful? Joke. Joke, guys. Joke lang, guys. Kaya basing higutom na mo. Okay, now let's have another example. Okay, we have here the following table contains the random mean scores of the senior high school students in the standardized entrance exam in the CSU. The said exam has 120 items. The table is grouped by gender. Test whether the gender matters in taking the entrance exam in CSU. So, mugna rin siyang results, guys. Okay? Now, as you can see on the table, you did not, there is no need for you to have an equal number of sample between the male and the female. So, pwede ra siya 100 ang male, tapos 70 ang female, or vice versa. Basta ka, it should follow the sampling technique. Okay? Now, how are we going to solve for this one? I mean, how are we going to find the... how are we going to test if the gender affect the entrance exam in CSU? Okay. So again, let's put our data on the Excel. So the best way is to put this one on the Excel. Wala akong data. Oh my God. Okay, so I supposed to have here the kuan na, guys, but it's gone like a wind. Wait, so okay, so we have here the data. Just we're gonna copy this one and put it on Excel. Let me see if I can copy that one. Yes, copy that one. So what we got here, the male and female result on the standardized exam in CSU. So again, same process. You're going to copy. What do you want? Let's do this in Excel first, or SPSS na diretso. Which of the two tool you think is way simpler or way better? Okay, wala yung tubag, kung wala yung magbuot. Okay, copy this one in the Excel, or we can copy this one again. We can solve this one in the Excel. We can analyze this one in the Excel and analyze it also in SPSS. So I'm copying my data. So this is for my mail. Okay, so let's name this one. So I can name this one the way I can. So let me have a mail as 0. All the mail all the mail can be named as 0, can be coded as 0. Then all my female, I will code this one as 1. Okay, then let's have here the variable view. Okay, then for the gender, let's label this one. Last one. I'm gonna put 1 for, it's not 1, it's actually 0. 0 for male. Add. Then we have 1 for female. Add. Okay. Now we group our gender. Next is to change the measurement. So I'm gonna put this one into scale. And same old, you go to analyze. Compare means you click independent t-test. Here, the test variables is our score, and the gender is our grouping variable, which we group in 2, 0, and 1. Okay. Then you click OK. Okay, we have here the output. What does it say? Okay, so we have the number of our participants. We have the male 12 and the female 16. And the mean, as you can see, and we can also see here the mean difference between their scores. So it's 24.18750. And we have here the standard deviation. Now we all know that the standard deviation is just the square root of our variance, right? So, diba, we're going to test again the homogeneity of our variance. As you can see, our F is greater than 0.05. So, if it's greater, then we look at the first line, this line. Okay. Then we have here the sig. If the variances differ significantly, so as you can see, it's greater than 0.05, so it does not differ significantly. So we go on with our test. Okay. Okay, now we have here the p-value, which is less than or t and less than 0.05. Okay, so what does it say? What do you think? Okay, let's go back a bit. Let's try if we can have the same result in Excel. So you click the data and the data analysis and t-test for 2 assuming an equal variances. Then you click the variable 1, you select the range. Okay. Then the variable 2, and you select the range. Okay. And we have a label, so you click a label and you choose which range are you going to show you. We're going to show your output. You click OK, and voila, here is your result. Okay. Maura ba? Yes, I think. Okay. The mean difference, the mean difference, if we're going to minus that one, more or less it's 24. And our p-value P2 tail is 0.014. 0.014, which, wait, let's see daw, Bel. Let's go back to our, here. So 0.014, 0.08, 0.014. So it's less than 0.05, diba? So what does this mean? If you have a p-value less than 0.05, how are you going to interpret your data? Okay. So by the way, what is your null hypothesis on the example number 2? Anyone? How are you going to formulate your null hypothesis? By the way, I'm going to give you an assignment later on. Okay. So for example number 2, our null hypothesis. None. Okay. So this is our example number 2. We're talking about gender, if it's affect or it has, if it matters in the mean scores in the standardized exam in CSU. Okay, so our null, we have here gender has no effect in the mean scores in the standardized entrance exam in CSU. Okay, make sure in making the null, all your variables are there. We have the gender and the mean scores. Okay. Then our alternative hypothesis is gender has a significant effect in the mean score in the standardized exam in CSU. Okay, since our result, wala pa nang ibutangan. Okay. Now, what is our p-value there? The p-value is actually 0.14, 0.014, either of the two. Our p-value is less than 0.05. So it means that you're going to reject your null hypothesis. So if you're going to reject your null hypothesis, this means that gender has an effect, or gender has a significant effect in the mean scores in the standardized exam in CSU. Okay, you can add on by looking at their means, which one or which gender perform better. Diba? Anyway, kuan ni siya guys I simulated the data, so you will have a reject and a not reject and fail not to reject. Okay. This is not true to all. Okay? Example lang ni siya, kay basin matingala mo si gender has an effect. Well, I don't know yet. There's no study yet. Okay? So, our p-value there is 0.008 and 0.014. So, it's less than 2. We're going to reject the or the null hypothesis. And in here, below your table, you can add on, if you have something like this, something like this problem in your study, you can add here related studies that says that male is more dominant in taking exams if you can cite one. Okay. As you can see on example lang ni guys imong kasuko sa ako. Sabi mo, ma'am, male good ma'am. Gender bias. Okay, example lang ni guys. Okay. Here, diba rejection man to siya. 0.00. Okay, so you can add on with, let's go back here from the result and let's go back also to our interpretation. So below your table, diba, you're going to write all your interpretations and you can add related studies. Okay, so you can say that male is more dominant in, and add a cite. Kinsa man na author ang say about that. Okay, and more. Okay, so the next example, I want you be the one to analyze this one. Okay, this is going to be your assignment. Okay? So, ako lang i-share ang screen. Sibog sana ako ng iro ha, kay Sam. Okay? Ala, di siya masibog. Delete the dog. Okay. Okay? So for example, number 3, a group of male senior high school students were arguing as to which of the college schools in Butuan City had many attractive girls. Is it St. Joseph Institute of Technology na wala siya, or is JIT or the Father Saturino Orius University or Orius? To validate their arguments, they persuaded 10 girls randomly from each school and present them to the panel of judges. Each girl's photo was shown to the judges and was rated from 1 to 10, with 1 being the least and 10 as the most attractive. The average rating is listed on the table below. Okay, you'll be the one to do it. And your sir, I'm going to check this one by myself and through your advisor. Your advisor will collect your result and I'm going to check it. Okay. So the clue here is, diba, you have all the ratings. So 10 girls lang man to siya. So you're going to, again, same process. Then you analyze, you check the most important, this is the p-value, and you put it on the table the way I did. Okay? Gutom na mo? Okay, so I think I'm gonna end up my presentation here so we can have lunch all. That's all for today. Thank you so much.
Okay, can we start with our question and answer for our first 2 speakers?
Yes, guys. Any questions? Or unsa ba? Ma'am, na ako'y crack na SPSS. Does any version will do? I don't know actually. Crack na version. I don't know if it'll work, but mine is also cracked. I downloaded it from torrent.
Ma'am,
Anyway,
nai-concern ang isa ka student from
okay,
section Mendeleev. Ano siya, sige daw error yung SPSS. Mukalitrag format unknown.
Format unknown? There could be, sa iya sigurong data, mali ang pag-input. Format unknown. Kung
format unknown siya, so hindi na-install.
basin imong PSS is not fully installed.
Or na-mixing na mga missing corrupt na yung na-corrupt ng mga files sa MQA nga requirements sa SPSS like Microsoft C++.
Yeah. Or na mga basic, requirements for you to run SPSS. For example, kanang mga plus, kulang packages. Ingon na si Sir Mayat. Okay, possibly kulang ang packages. So you download another, you try to find another na kanang full package.
Both na dependent sa yung SPSS package na SPSS sa laptop dependent.
Yeah, you check also your laptop. Reinstall. Ingon ni Sir Mayat. Sir Mayat, ikaw na lang answer sa iya technicality sa SPSS and computer. Any more question? Pwede ka mangutana kang Sir Mayat or Sir Simak. Kay kabalo na sila. More likely you have more knowledge than me in like that in technicality sa SPSS. Any more question? Ma'am, sige, error among SPSS.
Ito ng error SPSS, one email per group. One email address per group. Please send it to
Later na lang.
later.
Sa imo.
Lunch break.
Sa imo na lang.
Lunch break na lang.
Mag-message ka na lang.
Is the live ba ma-save sa channel so we can rewind some parts for later? Is the live ba ma-save? Is it recorded?
YouTube man siya. So, basin mapa na rin ba yung sa tumingin, pwede ka ito ma-access na. Patrong hindi ko maka-access ano.
No.
So don't lose the link.
Don't lose the link because you can rewind later after our presentation, all the presentation, as long as you have the link.
Yes.
Yes. Yes. Any more question? So, napamoy panguta na guys, sis. Okay, magulat ta. Sinagtype pa mo. Wala mo yung question regarding T-test? Basta na mo yung clarification or na mo yung comment or violent reaction? Wala na? Wala na ata. So, wala na. So, we will have a break naman siguro?
Yes, ma'am. Let's have a lunch break, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you again.
Thank you, Ma'am Ivy.
Thank you, Ma'am Maricar.
Okay, so let's have our lunch break. We will return at 1:30. So please do the activity, ang examples given by our speakers so that you can ask questions later kung naa may mga problems that you will encounter. So see you at 1:30. Enjoy your lunch, everyone.